Solving and graphing inequalities. Vocabulary: inequality is a mathematical sentence that compares two unequal expressions. So some vocabulary you want to make sure you know that this symbol refers to as less than. I like to tell my students that I've learned is that less than starts with the letter L. And if you squish that letter L, it sort of looks like that less than symbol. This is less than, or this line here means equal to. And then we have the not, looks like the L, so the opposite, which is your greater than. Or again, this has that equal to. Equal to means it includes. And then we have just the simple greater than. So we want to make sure we have a clear understanding of the different symbols. Okay, we also need to talk about some clarification that it's less than or greater than. You're going to have an open dot. If it has that equal to symbol underneath, that means it's a closed dot because it includes those values. Okay, so when we're graphing, we want to make sure we know that information. So let's start off real quick. So we have -2 times x is greater than 6. So to solve, we're going to divide because it's being multiplied by the x. So that gives us x. We divide it by a negative. Now you might forget this rule, but you have to flip that and reverse that inequality. So it goes from a greater than symbol to a less than symbol, again, because we divided by a negative. So if we divide or multiply by a negative, we have to flip that inequality sign. So we have -3. This is an open dot, and it is going to the left because that inequality is pointing to the left. And anytime your variable is on the left side, it is pointing in the direction of the arrow. Okay, so let's try another one. This is a one step, so this is to be subtracted because it's being added to m. That's a zero pair. Bring the m down. Bring down your inequality because we are not dividing by a negative. We are simply just subtracting a number. 2 minus 6 is -4. We do not flip that inequality. So that'd be an open dot at -4. It is pointing to the right, and all those numbers to the right are greater. Okay, let's try another one. So we have x divided by -2. So the opposite of dividing is to multiply by -2. Again, one of those rules where multiply or divide by a negative, you need to flip the inequality. -2 divided by -2 or -2 over -2 is 1. So we bring our x down, flip that inequality sign or switch reverse. And then we have -2 times 6 is -12. Now that's the same thing as if I had written x is less than -12. What happened to my screen? Sorry. So as long as the inequality looks like, sometimes they talk about alligators eating the larger number. See how 12 is getting eaten? And if I reverse the order, 12 is still being eaten, even though my x is on the opposite side. So sometimes kids like to have their variable on the left side. So that would be an open dot at -12, and that would be facing to the left. Okay. Here's one where we can multiply by our, get rid of our fraction. Sorry, my screen is not working all the way. Anyway, so we multiply by that LCM of 15. Okay, so that 15 is simplified out. So we bring down -9 plus a. Bring down your inequality, and then 1 times 15 is 15. So now it's a one-step equation, so we're going to add 9 to both sides. Okay, bring a down, bring my inequality sign down, and you get 24. So that is an open dot, and we have our values to the right are all greater. Okay, now let's talk about some two-step equations. Okay, or inequalities, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to first subtract 28. Sorry, my screen is not working. Subtract 28 on both sides. It's a zero pair, bring down negative 4p, bring down our inequality sign, and 8 minus 28 is negative 20. Now we're going to divide by negative 4. Again, that special case, when we divide by negative number, you need to reverse your inequality sign. So it's going from a greater than to a less than or equal to, and that becomes positive 5. That is a closed dot at positive 5, and that's going to be going to the left, all the numbers to the left. Okay, let's try another one. We're going to be adding 8 to take it to the other side. That's a zero pair, cross it out. Bring down the left side, bring down your inequality sign, and negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4. Now this is being divided, so the inverse is to multiply by negative 6. Again, that's a special case. We're multiplying by a negative number. Negative 6 divided by negative 6, or negative 6 over 6. Negative 6 is 1x, but we have to flip that inequality sign from a less than or equal to a greater than or equal to. And then negative times a negative is positive 24. So we have a 24 that is equal to, so we have to make it solid dot, and this time we're going to the right. Okay, so those are some examples of multi-step. If you watch the next video, I will go into some more detailed equations or inequalities.